everybody, it's time for Ghost and Crendor!
Ghost and Crendor in the morning.
In the morning! Broadcasting live! Before our recording studio audience. Recording! Wake your ass up! It's up next Crendor in the morning! Hello, everybody, it's Monday.
It's good.
Hi.
Hi.
You? How's it
yawning.
going? You okay over there?
No.
No. Why not?
I am okay, I just said that.
Oh, well. That's a horrible intro.
It's like normal
Why would you
Mondays. Well, that's what people do at like the store all the time. They're like, "How are you?" You're like, "Good." How are you? Good.
When people say like, "How's your day going?" I'm like, "It's going," and they just don't know how to react. I'm like, "Perfect." Thank you.
Or like when they expect you to say, "How about you?" back, and they're like, "Good." Sometimes they're like in such a zombie robot mode. They'll be like, "How are you?" I'm like, "Good." And then I don't say anything, and they're just like, "Good."
The best is, speaking of zombie robot mode, when you go to a restaurant and they say like, "Thanks, come again," and you reply like, "You too."
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm used to them being like, "Have a good day," or whatever, and I'm like, "You too." I'm just so programmed. But when they say something different, I walk away and I'm like, that made no sense. What I said.
Oh my god. Did I say that we forgot to talk about that movie with a talking cat on our last podcast?
I don't remember if we did. I don't remember if we did.
I don't know if we did either. But like, it was
Look, let's just talk about it again because it's wonderful.
It's wonderful. So there's a movie on Netflix called A Talking Cat? ? And it may be the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life.
It is so wonderful in every way.
It is.
It is basically, I want to say it's made in Windows Movie Maker, but that would be giving Windows Movie Maker too much credit or too little credit. I'm not sure which.
So it's about this cat. He can talk.
That's really the premise of the movie.
For some reason, he's decided to get this family, these two families together.
Hold on. You are missing a big plot point. He can
Okay.
only talk to human beings one time. Once a human being hears his voice, he can never talk to them again.
Yeah, he can only talk to one human being one time. So he can talk to like everybody on the planet once. That's it.
But apparently, when he talks, it sounds like an old drunk using a really cheap USB microphone.
It does. And it's the guy from The Dark Knight.
It is. It's the guy who plays the gangster that gets dropped off the building and breaks his leg in The Dark Knight. It's him. Yeah,
and they were like, "Listen, we have like a $400,000 budget. Let's get that guy, because he'd probably do this for like $395."
And then they spent the $5,000 left on whatever the hell movie this was.
Yes.
It's so good.
The guy recording it, you could tell they just like paid him this money, and they were like, "You could record it from your house, like after you've woken up." And you could tell he's just like, "Hello, everyone. My name's I forget. I'm a talking cat, and I'm gonna go around today."
The syncing of the voices don't even match 90% of the time. So when people are talking to the cat will, like, there's one great scene where the guy's like, "What's your name?" And he looks at his collar.
Yeah, he's like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "I'm from the planet Zolar." Just like some random shit. And then he's just like, "Oh, where are you from?" And he's like, "My name is Duffy."
It's amazing. It's amazing.
And then there's that kid who's like, it's this like crazy guy and his son.
All right, hold on. Yeah, we have to break down the plot points here. Okay, one family, which consists of an old crazy man who apparently was kicked out of his company. He's a genius, computer whiz, who apparently can't function in real life.
And he has hair like David Lynch.
He has the craziest hair. And his son, I don't know where the wife is. I guess she's dead. But his son is a very insecure guy who wants to go on a date with his girl Franny, who loves him, but he tutors her, and he doesn't know how to talk to her, yet he is played by the single gayest actor in Hollywood.
He really is. I've showed this trailer to like 3 people, and I'm like, "Do you think he's gay?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Well, he's not."
His character is very straight. In real life,
Yep.
I've never seen like a more gay person. And yet he's playing this guy who's like, Dad, what's it like to ask out a girl? It's like, dude, no one in this family knows.
It's like, well, son, I just met your mother one night after I was drinking, and she was too, and then you happened.
Plus, the house they live in is so bonkers.
It is.
And they have a chair that's a car.
Look, listen, I'm just saying, they filmed porn there.
It looks like a porn house. They have a chair that's a car, like a car
no,
chair.
It was.
They have
Like, there's no denying it.
They have a branch statue that looks like legs with like a tree vagina, and then it like explodes
It has,
out.
like, cowboy boots on.
It's amazing. It has red giant cowboy boots. You're right. And then I can't even explain it because then when they like do close-ups of stuff around the house, there's like cobwebs and shit everywhere. And it's like, who lives here? It is the creepiest house ever.
It is.
And that of course is where that dad and son live. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, and Franny, like when she first calls him to like get tutoring.
Franny's the girl he's in love with. But please continue.
Yeah. She calls him. She doesn't even say her name. She's just like, "Hey, do you know me? I sat behind you." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I know you." It's like she didn't even tell you who she is. And then
the best part is he's like, it's in a class that he had like years ago. So it's not like a current situation where they're in a room together. He's like, "Oh, of course I know who sits behind me." It's like, "Hi, I sat behind you." And he's like, "Yeah, of course, I remember you." Yep.
And so she comes over, and she has like a bow tie necklace. Later in the movie.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Throughout most of the movie, Franny seems like a bad person. Like, she seems like a bad guy trying to, like, get this kid to cheat for her. But apparently that's her way of saying I love you. Because when they first show up, she's there to be tutored. And yet she's like, "Hey, why don't we go in the pool?" Rip off clothes, bathing suit. And the kid's like, "Yeah, I don't know if I should." And then he, like, runs away and has, like, the best gay freak out I've ever seen. Like, I've been in a theater department. I know a lot of homosexual dudes. I've never seen a freak out this good. It was amazing. And it was like, hold up. There's no way this kid's straight. And I thought that was gonna be like the twist in the movie. Like, at the end when the cat came and like fixed all their lives, this kid was gonna admit that he was gay. I thought that was gonna be it. And I was like, that's a really great story. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. They didn't dare go that deep. It was like, look, the kid just
like
can't be around women.
It was like he actually expected to tutor her.
Right?
And then she's like, "I don't want tutoring. I want a different kind of tutoring." And he's just like, "What do you mean?"
Like, "Can we go in the pool?" And I was like, damn. Turns out the entire time she, I guess, knew all the material and just wanted to like hang out with the kid. I guess that was her like.
Yeah.
But
she wanted to go swimming.
Yeah, really, she just wanted his pool. But up until that point, he is just freaking out about dealing with this girl, and she seems like the bad guy who's like, "You know what? You can read all that stuff for me. I don't need to know it."
She has a line where they're like, have you read Hamlet? And she's like, "Is that about ham?"
Right? She's pretending to be dumb by going full retard. And so, oh God. So what? I don't want to. We're gonna end up spoiling it anyway. But after the cat works his magic, the big payoff at the end is that
there's no big plot to spoil, really.
Well, at the end, for Franny and this other kid, I don't know his name. Really, we don't know any character names except for Franny, because that's the only one we cared about. Because we were like, who is this girl? So Franny and this boy, the boy finally, because at one point, the other family has a son who's really good at swimming, right? And the boy, you find out, can't swim. And so, of course, the one really buff macho dude from the other family teaches this boy how to swim. And at that point, when they're swimming together and like playing, I was like, this is it. This is when we find out that he's gay and they love each other. Wonderful. Good story arc, right? No, not at all. The boy like teaches him how to swim, and then he gets in the water with Franny.
They just like cheer, and then he like goes away.
Yeah, and so he teaches him how to swim, and the kid's like, "All right, I'm gonna swim with you, Franny." And they get in the pool, and then it's literally like a minute-long montage of them splashing each other, and Franny twirling in her bikini.
Yeah.
And we're like, kiss! Just kiss her! Where's the payoff? Kiss her! And nothing. They just keep twirling in the pool like
Nothing happens.
we're in the pool, yay! Like the entire room of people is freaking out. Like, where is the payoff? And so that's that family. The other family, mind you, there's a talking cat in all of this.
That's what ties it all together.
Of course. The other family is a mom who I believe is a former porn star. Like, it is a fact.
She was in like a movie called Alice in like XXX Wonderland or something.
Great role model.
Yeah.
And her kids are an incredibly bitchy daughter who is unnecessarily mean to her brother, and a brother who is really moody for being an incredibly good-looking handyman sports star. It makes no sense. So the daughter is like really into computers, and yet she uses a MacBook that's held together by a piece of tape.
Yeah, but the tape is to cover up the Apple logo.
Of course. And so she's sitting there like the entire time, and she's made like algorithms and programs and things like that. And so she doesn't want to help the family, and the brother's always helping the family because he's a really good guy. And so the sister's like, you're a dummy. And the brother's like, well, I just want to help out. And she's like, shut up, idiot. And he's like, you're the idiot. It's very good dialogue.
And then she's just like, shut up, loser. And she walks away, and the mother's like, why don't you go talk to your sister?
The best part is there's literally scenes where they wake up, and like the brother's eating breakfast, and the sister walks by and just goes like, hey, idiot, and just walks away. And it's like, why are you so mean to him? And the brother, meanwhile, instead of doing anything, I don't know if they ever go to school or what they do, but it's clearly during school time, but the brother spends, because they're, the tutor situation in the other house, but the brother spends all of his time outside fixing their fence. Like, he doesn't do anything. She's like, the fence needs fixing, or I need to go bake. And the brother's like, I'll help you load stuff in the car. It's like, does this kid do anything?
I don't know.
So this whole family's like dysfunctional, and the mom wants to be a chef or like a caterer or something. And so she's trying to finagle her way into like the catering world, and she makes really great cheese puffs. That was one thing about this movie that you needed to understand. She makes the best effing cheese puffs in the world.
But they're like the cheese puffs. They're not like Cheetos or something. They're like these
Pastries,
actual things. Yeah, and then she tells the daughter to make them.
And the daughter, everyone in the family can make them. Everyone knows how.
Yeah.
They're her famous secret cheese puffs that everyone knows how to make. So, of course, this family ties into the other family because they need the other family. Apparently, the super rich family can help this family. I guess that's the moral of the story. I don't know what. Again, I don't know what's happening. But the dad.
They bond. They bond over like what's that guy's name? Some like singer.
Oh,
He's like,
oh my God! Was it Sinatra? It wasn't Sinatra.
No,
it was
more
it
random
Bing
than
Crosby?
that.
It was some old school movie television, but singer as well. And so they loved his movies, and so the dad from the other family, he decides, I'm gonna do something with my life. Today is the start of a new day, because Duffy tells him to get off his ass and like go for a walk. And so rather than thinking he's crazy because he talked to a cat, he's like, sure thing, cat. And he goes to like go on a walk. And of course, while on his walk, in what may be the most mysterious locale ever, because the one family lives in the middle of a forest, and the other family lives on like a tropical island. Yet somehow they're all connected. Yeah. And so the dad goes for a walk. He's like, "Oh my goodness!" And he meets this woman, and they like fall in love because they like the same song guy, and that's how they get connected. Well, the daughter finds out that this guy is that rich media mogul guy who knows all about computers, and she's like, I can present to him my formula or whatever. Her program.
Whatever.
Turns out the program, by the way, is basically something that if you scan all your articles of clothing, it'll tell you what best matches and what to wear.
Yeah.
That's what she's wasted all her time and energy on. A program where if you scan it with, by the way, the barcode scanner that they found is basically like one of those reading lights. And every time they just move it over something, there's in the background, it's like, beep.
That girl's probably a genius. She didn't have anything, so she took her book light and she turned it into a scanner.
the entire time. Like, all of it fits together. Like, they use that scanner at the end to get the kid all dressed up so he can go meet Franny and, like, impress her. And so the girl meets the dad guy, and they're like, oh, yeah, we'll totally help you. And the brother, of course, the cat tells him, you know, like, you're destined for better things. His better thing was helping the one boy learn how to swim. and so the cat talks to everyone except for the mom, who ends up yelling at all of them. And then the cat gets run over by a car.
Which they foreshadowed.
Yes, because the car almost hit the old man while he's walking down the road. So
brilliant writing.
And they're like, oh, that crazy man in his car. And the cat is injured. And when they go to see the cat who's injured, because the vet's like, we've done all we can for him.
Yeah.
The cat is literally laying there with just like a bandage wrapped around his head. Not hurt at all.
They took the like gauze wrap or whatever it is. They literally just like laid a strand of it over his head, and he's like playing with it. And they just filmed that.
It's amazing. It's not even wrapped. You're right. It's just laying on his head, and the cat's just like rolling around on the bed, and the drunk guy doing the voiceover is like.
It's the best scene. And then they're all like, oh my god, Duffy, you look so bad. It's like, no, he doesn't. Looks like he's playing with a bandage.
He's like a cat. And so then the only way they can save him is to go get a magical collar sitting in a rock in the middle of the woods. And so, of course, they're like, we've got to work together, family. So the entire family works together. Meanwhile, remember, this is an 88-minute long movie. It is not that long, and it feels like it goes on for an eternity. There were moments where we said, look, we're going to give it 5 more minutes, and then something insane happens. We're like, we're in.
Yeah, like we were going to shut it off after a little bit, and then we were like, oh my god, the cat started talking. And then, after like a little bit more, it was like down to a minute. We're like, we're giving this 1 more minute. And then the cat's mouth started moving, and that's when he started talking to the people. And we're like, holy shit!
And then after that, it just kept getting better and better and better. Like, new things would happen, and at one point, I swear to God, there were people in the room who were like, just turn it off! We should walk away! Just turn it off! And we're like, no, we're in too deep now. We have 15 minutes left of this movie. We need to see how it ends.
We passed the halfway point. We're just like, you're in it now. There's no going back.
It is horrible. And so they go off into the woods on this like scavenger hunt to find this magical collar that looks like just some hemp weaved collar they bought down on like Venice Beach. And they place it on Duffy, and like he magically grows and the bandage like disappears. And he's like, I'm good now. And he thanks them, and then I guess he decides to live with them. And he's like, in the end, everything worked out okay.
Oh, by the way, you can see the laser pointer they used to move the cat around.
No, the production values were amazing. Most of the scenes, there were cat treats left behind from where the cat was standing, or when the cat had to move, the laser pointer would always move ahead of him. So the cat would run.
And all of the, like, cut scenes in between, like the transition scenes were the same.
Oh my god.
Occasionally, like, flipped.
You know it's a great movie. It's on Birdemic levels of amazing, because I swear to God, there's a 10-minute scene of a car driving through mountains for no reason. It just keeps going. You're like...
You even joked about it. You're like, we just need like a scene where the car is driving for 10 minutes. And they show the car and it's just driving.
Right? I was like, this isn't a great movie until there's a scene where the car's just driving and just wasting screen time because they had to make it feature length. And so they just had to run out the clock. And they're like, what can we do? Have them drive somewhere. So there's just a scene of a car driving through the mountains for like 10 minutes. It's just like the beginning of Birdemic where there's a car driving for no reason. It's amazing. This film is a masterpiece.
You can go watch it on Netflix if you want.
The best part is, when you watch it, you'll be like, this had to have been made like 10 years ago. It came out this year. It came out this year.
A month ago. Came out like a month ago.
It's amazing. Look, it's on Netflix. Just go watch it if you have it. It is the best thing you will see. Get your friends, get some beers, and watch this thing. You will have the best night.
We tried tweeting Franny.
We did.
She's... I don't know what's happened to
her. We made
hashtag
Team Franny. We love you, Franny. You're the best. Everyone else in that movie, we don't care about. Although the other girl, much more attractive than Franny, I'll say, but it was her first time acting, so we can't give her a fan club yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Franny, though, has been in, like, magazines and feature films, so she's pretty impressive.
She's going places.
We love Franny. Franny is the best.
Yeah.
So... Team Franny. Hashtag Team Franny.
Allison Siki. Allison Seeky. Come on our podcast.
Is her name like Sneaky Seeky? Isn't that her Twitter name?
Her Twitter is Sneaky Seeky.
Sneaky Seeky.
She hasn't tweeted since January 2nd, but when she comes back, she's going to be like, what?
Yeah.
Be amazing.
I'm pretty sure she's never coming back.
She
watched that movie and then threw herself from a cliff. and as she fell, the cat was like, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that."
Duffy, cat.
I'm Duffy. I'm a cat. The best part is the beginning of the movie. He's like, "There's a lot of things you know about humans. This is a story about me not understanding them."
For some reason, I've decided to get those families together.
It's amazing. We've literally wasted almost this entire episode talking about that movie.
Time well wasted.
Time well wasted.
Not wasted at all.
Oh my god. Alright, well, let's go to Chop to Cop to 7 to the Sky with Crendor. Crendor, how's that traffic out there?
Today the traffic is looking, I don't really know, because I've just been watching a talking cat up in my helicopter. This movie truly is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I think you should all go watch it. Back to you.
Thanks, Crendor. Now let's go over to Crendor, the weather desk. Crendor, how's that weather?
This week's weather pattern looks like an eye.
Oh my god. Illuminati, man. Illuminati.
It is. They're watching. They've taken over the weather.
The weatherati.
The weatherati. Let's go to... I'm going to type in Duffy.
There's got to be a Duffy somewhere.
Duffy's Golf Center, Florida.
That's right. Perfect.
There it is. In Duffy's Golf Center, Florida, it feels like 74 degrees. 59% humidity. The golf index is a 10, which is excellent.
I don't know what that means exactly. How can you qualify that as excellent?
It just means that the weather there is so amazing that it can't be any better for golf. And if you want to play today, it's $28. 18 holes, 59 pars. There's 15 tee stations.
59 pars. Yep, that sounds about right. 59 pars. Go on.
Mm-hmm. And it's located at Port Charlotte. So if you want to,
if you like golfing with a drunk cat, head on down to Duffy's.
Mm-hmm. Where there's a storm coming in apparently, so you got to get your golf in quickly.
Yes, hurry.
That's what I learned.
Hurry
today.
up and do that.
Yeah, that's the weather.
All right, now let's talk about sports.
All right, we got some cool sports news today. It involves the Cubs, my team that likes to lose, that I stopped caring about.
So we're gonna talk about them.
Yeah. Chicago Cubs video assistant takes second to David DeJesus in team bunting contest. So they had a bunting contest.
Wait. Did a non-professional baseball player come in second in a bunting?
The video assistant of the Chicago Cubs beat everyone on the team except for one guy in a bunting contest.
For people who aren't aware, everyone should know what bunting is, but can you give a brief explanation for those who don't quite get what that is?
So, bunting is, instead of swinging the bat to hit the ball, you just hold the bat out, and then you hit the ball as it comes in, so it just kind of like hits off the bat and then just like bounces forward a few feet.
Right. So you're basically lining up your bat. Think of it like as human pong, kind of. The ball's coming at you, and you're trying to just hit it, just nudge the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's a sacrifice.
Yeah. And so, they say, that's a real headline. Now, wait a second. Cubs manager Dale Sveum says, simply because his team's video assistant and not an actual player reached the final of the Cubs' 64-person bunting tournament Sunday, doesn't mean the team should be embarrassed. I mean, a guy in the Cubs front office named Nate Holm should be just as skilled of a bunter as anyone invited to play at spring training. That's how he tried to spin it for Paul Sullivan of the Chicago Tribune. Oh, come on, Sveum protested. Whoa, we're really worried about that. He's a professional player. He played overseas and in college. So pretty much he's like, this guy played in college, so that's why he beat us.
Funny thing is that guy sounds much more professional than anyone else on the team. Like, why is that guy in the front office and not actually out on the field? Sign his ass.
I don't know. And the only guy to beat him was DeJesus, who won the inaugural bunting tournament of 2012.
I feel like they don't know what they're doing.
It's the Cubs. Welcome to Chicago Cub baseball, where everything that can go wrong goes wrong.
Sammy Sosa!
Listen, their best chance was with Sammy Sosa back when he was pumping the steroids. They should have rode it to the World Series. They didn't. It was sad. That was when that guy, he stuck his hand out to catch the foul ball, and he caught it instead of the Cubs player. And then the Cubs player's like, look at the guy in the stands. He took the ball from me. And everyone's like, oh my God, what are you doing?
Sammy Sosa!
And then right after that, it was literally 5 outs away from the World Series. And then the guy on the Cubs dropped the ball, and then they just fell apart.
I feel like this is still deep-seated within you. Like, you're still harboring an anger.
Well, from that point, they just went down. That was their best opportunity. That was I waited my whole childhood to witness this, and then it was just disappointment. And there was they showed on the front page of the paper the next day, it's just this old lady that you knew waited her whole life for this moment, just crying, on the dugout thing, and now she's dead. I mean, this was what was this? This was it's 9 years ago, so she's dead.
Oh,
she missed her opportunity. God. Thanks, Cubs. You killed an old lady. I mean, I still have an opportunity to see them win in my lifetime, but...
Oh my God. That might be where we end it. We don't even need a new story. We're already over time. I don't even... Oh my God.
That works for me.
All right, guys, that's it. We wasted all of your time today, but I felt like it was for a good reason.
It was.
Describe a movie so you don't have to see it, but then ask you to go see it.
Yeah.
And we learned the Cubs killed an old woman.
Well, yeah, they did. And are really bad at playing baseball.
Thanks to Sammy Sosa.
He does a little heart thing. You know, he touches his fingers to his lips, and then his heart, and then his lips again, and then his heart, and then his lips, and then he does the peace symbol. That was his thing.
We will be back tomorrow. Thank you for listening. And as always, to be continued.
See ya.